The moment the frost gem passed into Grumble's hands, its fractured light shimmering uncertainly through the silk lining of her pouch, a strange shift seemed to ripple through the wine itself. At first, it was only a scented sour tang on the breeze, like curdled milk left too long in the sun. Then came the sound, distant at first, a wet gurgling moan like someone squelching their boots through cheese soup. The team stood at the edge of the mountain trail, the smoothie stand now a blur behind them, when the first rumble echoed upward from the valley. Droop perked up immediately, his nostrils flaring with alarm. "That's not my tummy," he whispered, and then they saw it. Below, in the winding path leading back to Clay Castle, a great tide of gold and orange juice slithered between hills, devouring shrubbery, fences, and the occasional lost boot in its sticky, bubbling wake. It was the crown's magic uncontained, wild, transformed into a living river of melted cheese. From within its thick swirl of cheddar and gorgonzola, vague shapes floated, broken furniture, melted banners, one unfortunate duck statue, and somewhere in the middle, the twisted remnants of the crown's original core, still glowing, still leaking its magical essence into the realm unchecked. Grumble's voice sliced through the panic. "If that reaches the castle before we do, everything will be swallowed, every wall, every scroll, every clay creature who ever tasted normality." Blop's eyes went wide. Including the Royal Donut Archive, no one answered. They didn't need to. Butterknife unsheathed himself with a dramatic whoosh, which sounded more like a buttered loaf being sliced than a proper blade, and pointed down the trail. "We run and they ran, or at least they tried." Mistress Muck's broom was spinning erratically again, propelling her sideways through a hedge. Droop tripped on his own smoothie tail. Butterknife slipped into a heroic lunge that accidentally became a cartwheel. But Blop, bless him, squishy and wide-eyed and determined, held the frost gem high and charged ahead with a donut tucked under one arm like a rugby ball of destiny. The clay beneath their feet squelched and gave way, every slope slick with frost or cheese or both. The sky above turned a worried yellow, echoing the color of magic gone wrong. The ooze wasn't just following, it was learning. It moved faster when the team slowed, it climbed where they climbed. It paused at intersections like it was asterisk thinking asterisk. Grumble looked back and saw it split briefly at a fork in the road, then merge again moments later. It had formed a face. It was smiling. "Why is it smiling?" she gasped. Muck flipped through her soggy spellbook, hurling incantations like wet socks. "I tried a Celio Maximus, and Chalazo, and even cool beans. But nothing's freezing it." Droop, panting heavily, flapped into the air and unleashed a sneeze cloud of glitter toward the ooze. It shimmered momentarily, then absorbed the glitter and burst. At the halfway ridge above the castle gates, disaster struck. Butterknife, valiantly trying to block the flow with his shield made from his own reflection, was swept off his feet and landed squarely in the path of the ooze. The cheese reached his hilt. "Tell my scabbard I loved her," he cried. Then he was gone, entirely embedded in a bubbling cheddar whirlpool. Blop skidded to a halt, donut flying from his hands and bouncing dramatically off a tree. "No," he cried, "we can't lose him. He's mostly decorative but still kind of useful." The frost gem pulsed in his hand, its light flickering like a candle on the verge of suffocation. And then a thought struck him, a ridiculous, terrible, possibly brilliant thought. "Everyone," he shouted, "grab something slippery." Grumble blinked. What? He grabbed his donut. Droop grabbed an empty smoothie cup. Muck clutched her wobbling broom. They all threw themselves onto the icy slope just ahead, sat down, and launched. It worked sort of. The frictionless ride turned the hill into a claymation toboggan disaster. Blop's donut spun like a steering wheel gone rogue. Droop's wings flapped in panic, trailing sparkles. Muck shouted forgotten recipes instead of spells. But they slid faster than the ooze could slither, faster than logic, faster than fear. At the base of the hill, the castle loomed, already beginning to ooze at the edges. Cheese bubbles popped along the battlements, the gates sagged like melted crackers. They hit the drawbridge with a crash, bounced through the courtyard, and tumbled into the throne room. The ooze held behind them like a monster in slow motion. And through it all, The frost gem still cracked, still burning cold gleamed in Blop's grip. He looked at it, he looked at the melting crown, and without waiting, he leapt.